So I grew up in an evangelical home, which means, of course, we took the Bible literally. That means the world, of course, was 6,000 years old. That also means that, according to the Old Testament, the earth stood still. Oh, wait, no. The sun stood still in the sky. So, yeah, the earth stood still. So the earth stood still. Something like that. It also means that the people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, of course, they were sinful. So, that's how I grew up. Based on this upbringing and this cultural milieu that I was in, I should have become a religious fundamentalist. But something happened to me on my way to becoming a religious fundamentalist. I was reading. I went to Bible college. And I started observing the fundamentalists around me, and I started realizing some things about what it meant to actually be a fundamentalist and how that just didn't square with the Bible and history. One of the things that it started off with was I took a biblical interpretation class. Now, previously to going to the college that I graduated from, I took another biblical interpretation class from another Bible college. But this biblical interpretation class, there was a chapter in the book. It was small and the professor kind of glossed over it really quickly. But it was the history of interpretation throughout the whole of church history. And the way that we have been doing history, or that I was taught how we were going to be doing biblical interpretation, didn't square with history. So that was one of the things in my mind that was like, wait a second, something's not right here. So as I grew and as I started learning, I started also realizing and observing that to be a religious fundamentalist, there was no joy. There was no freedom in becoming a religious fundamentalist. Because as I went through Bible college and as I reflected on the things that I grew up with and knowing with, that to become a religious fundamentalist, you had to be able to clearly elucidate how the world was only 6,000 years old. You had to read Answers in Genesis. You had to read Evidence That Demands a Verdict. There was all these other books and all these seminars that you had to go to. You had to memorize all this stuff that was not in the Bible. And I realized that to do this, to learn all of this stuff, would weigh me down. And it was weighing me down because I had to read all this stuff, going to college and just being involved in this kind of culture. And it was all these little things, they just kept adding up. They kept adding up. And then, when I went to Bible school and read that chapter on how the Bible was interpreted in the past, and I realized something about what it would truly mean to be a Christian, that I didn't have to carry this burden of knowing all these facts. There came a freedom that I could be like Jesus. I didn't need to know all these facts. I could be like Jesus. I didn't need to actually to defend 6,000-year-old earth, or that the Bible is 100% accurate. All I had to do was live like Jesus, love like Jesus. All the other things that these people were telling me that I had to know, I really didn't. And the freedom that gave me, I can't express to you how awesome that is. That all I need to do as a follower of Jesus is to be like Jesus. I don't need to know about how the earth was formed at 6,000 years ago, because let's be honest, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't have to sit there defending every line of scripture, because we can look at it and see the errors. We can look at it and see things like, oh, those things don't quite add up. Like, come on. The world is not going to stand still, and the sun's not going to stand still in the sky. These are metaphors. So when I got rid of that, the love and compassion, because I could look at a person and not have to be like, well, do they believe in the 6,000-year-old earth? No. Doesn't matter. All I had to do was be like, here, I'm going to love you as I see you. I'm going to have compassion on you like Jesus had compassion on you. I'm going to show you kindness like Jesus showed people kindness. And that's one of the things that I found when giving up all of this other fundamentalist garbage. I found love for Christ. I found the ability to show others what Christ looks like, or just be able to try to emulate Christ in my life. And that, I feel, is more important than fundamentalism. That is so much more awesome than trying to memorize all of this other garbage. Anywho, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a good day, and God bless.